Everyone who transitions from what they used to do to discovering themselves will encounter a feeling of loss, almost like losing yourself or feeling lost. And this can be a very destabilizing emotion, which can actually hold you back and stop you from trying to do many things. And what I want to say is to embrace that feeling of being lost. It's extremely important not to shut it off, because once you shut it off, you're actually closing many doors, and you're actually encouraging yourself to stay uncomfortable where you are and never to really progressively move towards the person you want to be. This applies really in all areas of your life. But if I had to specifically focus on applying it to that one area, which is to find yourself again through a job or a passion or something you want to do, I would say become comfortable and familiar with that feeling of being lost. You will find moments in that feeling which will, or ideas or thoughts which will surface and generate, almost like a light bulb, encouraging you to take a direction or to do something that you never did before. So in my case, for example, this feeling always took me to markets. It took me to where fabrics were. I literally went there not knowing what I wanted, not going there having it in my mind that I needed to buy anything in specific. I just placed myself in that area of inspiration, which makes me happy, which motivates me. And that in itself started a process where I would, for example, purchase bits of fabric, bits of trimming, just bits and pieces, things I liked. And I bought them again. I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I knew I was buying it for myself because looking at it made me happy. Then once I brought it all to my home, I sat in my room and I stared at it. I started imagining and seeing what I could do with these bits and pieces that I bought for myself, how I could transform them into something I enjoyed. It might have been a scarf or a top or just anything. Obviously, you take the items. I won't lie, I cannot sew to save my life. That's one of the skills that I never developed, or I was never able to acquire because I never went, I never really did it properly at university. But that doesn't stop me. There are people out there whose job is to actually to fill in that gap which was missing for me. So obviously I went and I found a tailor and I told them what my idea was and they made an outfit, etc. Or they did something with all the bits and pieces that I purchased. That's how it started for me, In my down moments, I went to the market, I did something, I bought things that I loved. I transformed them into things that I love to wear. I enjoyed it. Step by step, I was becoming a lot closer to realizing what it was I kept looking for every time I went to the market. Why was I focusing on particular fabrics? Why did I keep producing more of a particular item? And that then generated a story. And that story was the story that was becoming the brand I was building for myself. So it's actually something which was coming out of that feeling of being lost, I didn't initially go to a factory and say to them, I want to become a designer and I want you to produce X, Y, and Z. That would have been doable and possible, but it definitely wouldn't have fulfilled the need, and it definitely wouldn't have given me the purpose I wanted for myself. I knew I needed to do it from scratch. I knew it needed to fit in with my personality, my ideology, this idea I had in my mind, which I couldn't see anywhere, but I could only see it inside my head. And then it develops itself. And that's really the important thing that I'm trying to say at the moment, which is I couldn't have reached that stage if I didn't embrace those moments when I felt down or when I felt lost. Those moments that took me to the areas that lifted me up and made me feel happy, and then generated the process of purchasing items which I loved, and then finding the tailors that could transform them into the pieces I wanted to wear, and then taking me back again to the market for more and more, and then helping me understand that, oh my God, this is what I want to do. These are the fabrics I want to focus on. This is the idea I have. I'm ready. That's an extremely important process to go through. And I would say never switch off that process. Embrace it. It's very, very important. You need to become friends with that feeling of being lost.